Okay, so we're not going into meditation yet. I know your hearts are open and you're ready to receive. So we're going to receive just a tiny little message, and then I'm going to move you into meditation. And I want you to take a look at this slide. Making room for the new. And I have a question. Honestly, I want you to raise your hand if you've ever had a closet, a room, or a garage, or a house that looked like that. Oh, you are honest. Look at you. You are honest. Okay. So I'm not the only one. So I love this because, you know, it's the perfect example of how not to be, right? I mean, the whole idea is there's no space for any new stuff. You got new stuff for Christmas, right? Where are you going to put it? There's no room there. There's no room in the inn. There's no room in the consciousness. There's no room. And so our minds are the same way. We get cluttered. We get thoughts and ideas, and we get habits. We get into ruts. We kind of do things the same way day after day, time after time. And our body and our minds, our consciousness kind of goes to sleep because there's no room for new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of believing, new ways of seeing the good that Spirit has for us. So believe it or not, our minds and our subconscious, it gets full too. It's just sort of like your phone when there's no storage and you go, oh God, I've got too many pictures. I have to let some of the videos go. I've got to make room, right? I've got to get rid of the old and make room so that you can make new memories, have new ideas and new consciousness to bring in. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, in his book, The 12 Powers, says this: a change of mind affects a corresponding change in the body. If the thoughts are lifted up, the whole organism is raised to higher rates of vibration. If the system has been burdened with congestion of any kind, a higher life energy will set it into universal freedom. But there must be a renunciation. There must be a letting go of old thoughts, old patterns, old beliefs, before the new can find a place in consciousness. So it's up to us, because renunciation release is one of our 12 powers. It's that part of us that knows what we have to let go of so that we can allow for the good to come in. It's the part of us that knows what's keeping us stuck, right? And this particular day of the year is vital for us to have reflection. Hopefully this whole week from Christmas to now, I've been in quiet, in silence, and have just really enjoyed reflecting and looking back on all that has transpired, because there's been a lot going on this last year, a lot to take in and a lot to know that we don't want that energy to follow us. So if we want to get unstuck, it's important to think about what it is that we need to let go of. Today's daily word is just spot on. That scripture, offer right sacrifices and put your trust in the Lord. So I think that's what it's meant by what we always say is let go and let God. We just coin that phrase and we say it all the time, but do we really understand the depth of the spiritual meaning of that? It's that surrender piece that gets some of our control freaks feeling not so good about it. To let go of anything, right? To let go of the worry and the things that have been holding us back, anything. So the purpose of this ceremony today is that in this setting and in our Zoom setting as well, we are prayerfully holding each other as we're allowing for this ritual to take place today, as we see each other releasing and letting go of negativity in our lives, negative ways of thinking and being, limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, things that just don't work for us anymore, because we're ready to establish a new awareness of truth within ourselves. So I see today is like we're standing at a crossroads, and we get to choose how we want to look at what we've experienced these last 12 months and what we're going to want to do next year. And next Sunday, we're going to do our white stone, and we're going to go into meditation and get our word of focus for what I want to call is our unlimited potentiality. Those two words, they just make me feel joy. Unlimited potentiality. There's no one holding you back but you. You see that? Your thoughts, your beliefs, what you think you can and can't do, right? Those two thoughts, we just have to let that go. We have to let it go. Eric Butterworth says, we are human in expression, but divine in creation and limitless in potentiality. I absolutely love that. And so we get to label or not what happened in 2023. And some of you, you've been on this roller coaster. Some of you, life has been like, whoa, wee, right? It's been like that for you. And that's okay. I mean, it's just what it is, right? There's no judgment there. We don't have to label it as good, bad, or ugly or anything else. It just is what it is. But we want to be really ready to let this year go as we plan for a better 2024. So it doesn't really matter what challenges we faced. We still get to choose to see it all as our soul's journey. These are lessons that we came here to learn. This is part of our growing. This is part of our learning. And I know some of you are thinking, okay, I've grown enough this year. Thank you very much, God. A lot of character building going on this year. You know, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, ready to do something else. So we've learned a lot this year, right? We have. We've learned a lot. And what we know is that a great deal of it, all of it actually, has been for our good. Even if we can't see it right now, it's always for our good. Because we can't always see the bigger picture, we don't always know. But actually, there is strength in letting things go. We may think that holding on to things makes us stronger, but in fact, it doesn't. It's in remembering that the past is the dead past, and the future is what is right here, right now, and what is facing us in the next weeks and months to come. So that's why it's important for us to have rituals, because we need the opportunity to let go of the shoulda, woulda, coulda, what if such and such had happened, right? We don't want to be stuck there. We don't want to be stuck in that, wishing it had been something else, because that's like looking back and turning to a pillar of salt, right? We want to keep our eyes focused on the here and the now, because this present moment is where the gift is. That's the dead past. This is moving forward, holding an intention for what we want to experience. So the reason we need to let all that what ifs go is because we're enough. We are enough, just the way we are, right here, right now. We are enough. Say it together with me. I am enough. Yeah. Now believe it. You said it. Now believe it. Some of us have been playing kind of small, and it's time to not do that any longer. It's time to move into newness, new ways of being. So these rituals are how we work on our subconscious, how we learn to let go so that we can make these changes. So part of what we teach in Unity is about denial and affirmation. Unity teaches us that we have to clear out the old and prepare for the new, because we're creating a vacuum. So if there's something in your life you don't want, you say, I deny that this fear has any power over me. I am an amazingly strong, powerful person, and I choose to create the life of my dreams. Those affirmative words that we speak to ourselves are what help us change our mind. We're not trying to change God. We're not trying to change God. We're trying to change our consciousness to realize that we have everything we need to do what we need to do to create the magic in our lives that we choose to create. So we're going to create a vacuum. We're going to let the universe know what no longer serves us can stay here. And as we move into the new year, we begin with a clean slate. So it's time now to prepare for meditation. Each of you should have received a piece of flash paper. Those of you that are on Zoom, I'm inviting you to take a small piece of paper, not a big notebook thing. Don't pull out a sheet of sketch paper or anything like that. You're not drawing pictures. Spirit already knows what you need to let go of. That's why you have a little piece of flash paper, right? So those of you that are at home, take a small piece of paper, and we're going to do a little bit of meditation, and then we're going to move into writing on this. Here, we're going to have the flame. At home, you can flush it down the toilet. Because the water does basically the same thing, right? Whoosh, it's gone. The sound, it's gone, right? Here we get to see poof. It's different, but it's all works. It's all part of the same thing. So, has everybody gotten something to write with? There are pencils in the backs of your chairs. Or if not, the ushers have pencils and can give you some. So right now what we want to do is we want to have a little bit of meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and let it go. Another one. And let it go. We're going to focus on our heart space. Breathing in and out of our heart space. See the breath going in and out. Now we're going to ask our hearts to reveal to us that which no longer serves. And we're going to take some time in this. This is not something that we want to rush. We're going to ask our hearts to help us identify those limiting beliefs, thoughts, and ideas that have been holding us back. So I invite you to take a few minutes before you even begin to write. You can abbreviate because Spirit already knows what you need to surrender. We're not in a hurry. There is no rush. Just be still and know and continue breathing. And now we'll move into the silence.
Swaha Om Maha Om Jana Om Tapa Om Satyam Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat